it seems to me you are very disciplined about musicians and how they should perform. And you find this is interesting in Hong Kong. And how do you find the Asian musicians? I mean, could they raise to a standard as other famous orchestras around the world?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's enormous talent in Asia and in Hong Kong and in China and in Japan and Korea and Taiwan. There is enormous talent, and it just needs to be bundled, and it needs to be encouraged. It needs to be demanded of. Talent. We have a say. It's French, and it says "noblesse oblige." When you have talent, it obliges you to do something with it, and because you didn't just get that for nothing.
Yeah.
And so that means you have to work hard. And I certainly am one that works hard, very, very hard on the podium. Our musicians are extremely well disciplined. I mean, I have no problem whatsoever. I mean, everybody wants to be good. Everybody wants to have a good orchestra and a first-rate orchestra. But it has to be demanded from the podium, and it has to be encouraged from the podium. And it has to be encouraged by audience that knows what they're hearing. Now, this is a long process. And I know if I'm here 5, 10, or 12 years, it won't be finished. But I hope that I can be part of setting something up that by the day I leave, there is a much better orchestra than when I came. And that is really set to make the next jump into the really top international league. And I think it is absolutely possible to have a couple of orchestras in Asia that are right up there with the very best in the world.
As you know, our government finally realized the importance of development in arts and culture. So we have allocated the Western Kowloon for the cultural complexes, what they said. Now, as I understand, they didn't plan to have a concert hall in such a development. Are you disappointed? What will you say to government?
Well, disappointed doesn't start to describe my feelings about it, but well, there must be a reason why in the initial request of what needed to be done, why that was left out. I think by now so much has been said about it. I'm very happy to live in Hong Kong. It's a wonderful city, and I think to build it's a great tribute, I think, to the city fathers and mothers that for now they are thinking of building something like that. And as you said before, we should be very happy and proud about that. This 30 years ago was impossible to think about that. A beautiful piece of land was taken for a cultural center. A cultural center without a top-rate, world-class concert hall is not possible. In my, it's from a practical point of view, it's not possible. It's wonderful. They built a 10,000-seat hall for pop concerts. I think that's necessary. It's good. It's wonderful. There's a theater being built. But to think that the theater could probably be multi-purpose and you could also do concerts, that is an enormous mistake, because everywhere in the world, multi-purpose halls have failed. Don't please make the same mistake that has been made everywhere to try and save money. So build a really dedicated theater for opera, musicals, ballet, and build a really first-rate concert hall for about between 1,800 and 2,000 seats of superior quality for the Hong Kong Philharmonic and whatever other orchestras will use it.
You know, Master, in Hong Kong, a lot of people have the impression is, this classical music are for the special class of people. Those people are middle and upper class of our community. Now, common people, they don't understand the so-called classical music or Beethoven's or Mozart's. Now, how do we promote that? Actually, in a city like ours, we should promote it in the overall sense, people's appreciation of classical music. How do we start with the young people? How do we have our education stream understands the cultural life of Hong Kong?
Yeah. Well, I have always, when I started, and you see I'm pretty white and there's not much left. When I started as a young musician in my 20s, they said, oh, the audience is all great, they're going to die out. They're not dying out, they're still there. They're here in bigger numbers, and I'm talking about the West now.
Yeah.
They're in bigger numbers than ever before. I think there is something in life where younger people, when you're in your 16, 17, 18, and you discover boys and girls and you know, whatever you discover, classical music is maybe not your first priority. When you get, usually what we see in life is that people, when they are in their 30s and the kids are going to university, they leave home, they say, now what? And they want something that gives their life meaning. And so that's why all over the world, audiences for classical music usually start to really be appreciative in their late 30s, early 40s, unless you have had the luck that either your parents or your school teacher was very much into it and made it available for you. We, as an orchestra, we can only pick up a little piece of the puzzle because we are a performance institution. There is, we don't charge money for youth concerts, but the orchestra costs money. So there needs to be, unless you have a fantastically funded youth program, and we're working on, we have actually quite good youth programs, but there needs to be more. Everybody needs to pick up a piece of that puzzle, and unless you have it very well funded, you can't do all that much. And so I think I'm not that worried when I go, even here. I was telling this to someone else the other day, that when I go in Hong Kong to concerts, not just my own but other ones, and I am amazed at the amount of young people, really young people in the audience.
Yes.
Way better than in the West, where you really very seldom see 12-year-olds with their parents. But that is quite normal here. So I think if we are capable and able and willing to deliver top quality playing, top quality players, top quality soloists, conductors, and we have a good apparatus for the marketing to get our message out, and we have a good department that does youth concerts, I think in 10 years' time you won't believe your eyes. And you will see so many more people in the hall.
Can you make suggestions to some of the beginners to appreciate music? You know, I began this because a friend of mine and appreciates the classical music, so I begin to attend, and I find
How old were you
music.
then?
Oh, I was in my early 30s, and I was studying engineering at the time, you know.
Right.
And I began to appreciate the sound, and then I start to actually read in a way of music. Now, and I think personal influences and friendship are very important. How do you suggest in our community that there is one thing I noticed, there is not enough promotion about our own Philharmonic Orchestra, about now how good it is, how appreciative it should be. How do we do more of that?
Well, I think when you are in the car or you are at home, turn on the classical music station, and when there is something that you like that catches your fancy.
I have an iPod to do that.
Exactly. Or call in and say, what was that? Go and get a CD and listen to it. Don't just write it off. Don't be lazy about it. Just can be something. I think there's an enormous amount of people who are musical, who are able to appreciate good music, whether it's good pop music, but quality. Or classical music, and some people like Wagner, some people hate Wagner but love Mozart, other people. There is such an incredible variety there to be enjoyed. Piano, singing, cello, trumpet, horn, what have you. And so listen to those stations. Take your friends, if you are a music lover, take your friends over there and to a concert. It's not that forbidding as everybody thinks it is. And please do not think that if you don't understand, I don't understand sometimes what we're playing. So
no, you do.
Understanding has nothing to do with it. You have to open your heart. You don't have to understand what food, something you eat, how it grew and where it came from. You like it, you eat it. You like music, you go listen to it.